Get ready for the biggest wave of the game. It's no mania, and the world will never be the same. Wrestling news, drama, it's all here. Tune in now, cause Noah's bringing the crew. From the ring to the screen, he's got the scoop. Breaking down WWE, Raw, the crew. SmackDown, AEW, the top spots to be. Noah Mania's the name, and the future you'll see. Hollywood buzz and the drama that's real. Noah's on fire and you'll feel the appeal. From the ring to the screen, he's got the scoop. Breaking down WWE, Raw, the crew. SmackDown, AEW, the top spots to be. Noah Mania's the name, and the future you'll see. Hollywood buzz and the drama that's real. Noah's on fire and you'll feel the appeal. Podcast, YouTube, where the stories unfold. He's got the content and it's pure gold. From the square circle to the red carpet bright, Noah Mania's rising and he's taking flight. A sexy encyclopedia, he's the king of internet media. Noah Mania's on the rise, watch him take control. The biggest name on YouTube and he's on a roll. Wrestling drama, all the world's trends. Tune in now, cause the fun never ends. Noah Mania's
What's up, guys?
the heat of fire climbing.
We live? I think we're live. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. Happy Friday. It's the day after Thanksgiving, November 29th. SmackDown just went off the air about an hour and a half ago. We're live for the experience here on youtube.com/Noah Mania. All right, I'm done with this theme song. And joining us, let me see if I can bring him in right now. Hang on here. Joining us through the magic of the internet, ladies and gentlemen, the extreme icon, Mike Nagel.
What's up?
What is up, buddy? How do we sound, everyone, in the live chat? What's going on in the live chat? Who is in the live chat? Mohammed Belhensi. I'm sorry. Here. Let me see if I can. Belsin. Mohammed Belsin. What part of the world do you hail from, Mohammed? I'm curious. He wrote in the live chat, it's Friday, it's nighttime, and it's post-Thanksgiving. I hope you are doing well, man, as well as your overall health, and same with the rest of your family. And then he said, this live stream is going to be wonderful. I will be delighted as a result. Well, I'm here to delight you, and so is this man, Mike Nagel.
That's illegal in 30 states, what you just said, Noah, so be careful.
Well,
we're on the interwebs.
Fortunately, I'm in one of the few blue states left. Everything has seemed to be going red, including...
Red.
Don't start with me.
Red.
All right, don't start with me. We got a great show for you, everyone. How do we sound anyway in the live chat? Let us know what's going on. Let us know. Gonna try to get Ebar on in a little bit. He's busy helping someone move. He's helping someone. Imagine
Look at
that.
me. It only took 10 years to go from looking like a California baby face to a red state redneck heel.
We're gonna have to work on flipping you once you get back out to California.
I look like a lumberjack.
Yeah, let's go with that. You wish.
Shut up.
When was the last time you chopped wood? Give me a break.
I've had wood.
Killing me. All right, on that note, we got SmackDown results. We're going to talk about Survivor Series War Games, which is tomorrow on the cock. And I mean Peacock, of course. We're going to talk about NXT. We're going to talk about AEW. I got some beefs I need to settle.
Lord.
One with YouTube, and I wouldn't necessarily call it beef. I guess I have some feedback that I need to give Maven Huffman.
I love Maven. He's the best.
Yeah, don't get me started. I got to talk about that a little bit later. But we'll start with a little bit of...
The Undertaker still loves you.
We're going to start with a little bit of sad news, though. This was just reported on TMZ a little bit ago as of this live broadcast. Bob Breyer is dead at 44 years old. Real sad to hear that. He was the longest serving drummer of My Chemical Romance. He was found dead at his home. No foul play is suspected at this point. So, real shame.
Well, when I look back and think about how bad my Thanksgiving was, you always gotta realize that some people have it a little bit tougher this time of year.
Yeah, at least you're alive.
Barely.
Well, you're getting there. But I always liked My Chemical Romance. I was a fan of them as a teenager, so that's a bummer.
I like Gerard Way a lot. I think he's very talented as a songwriter and a musician and a performer. But he created the Umbrella Academy, and that's one of my favorite shows of the last 10 years. So gotta love the band and their music and creative they are.
I'll even give him a pass on the fact that he's the cousin of Joe Rogan.
Oh, that's awesome.
You didn't know that? You didn't know Gerard
No.
is Joe Rogan's cousin? Yeah, that's common knowledge.
I haven't had too much time to do Wikipedia deep dives, if you know what I mean, Noah. There's been more pertinent issues on the horizon for me the last year.
It's not like he just became his cousin. He's been kind of his cousin for his whole life. So it's okay for you to just admit you didn't know something.
No, I don't. I did not.
But real sad if there's any MCR fans out there. When did he leave the band? He left the band in 2014. He was their drummer for 10 years.
That's crazy, and they just got back together, and they're doing all these shows now and everything, too. That's crazy.
So this was he's been out of the band for 10 years, but I'm sure it still affects them. So what happened was no foul play suspected, and this is from the TMZ article. We're told because of all of Breyer's weapons and music equipment in the home were left untouched. Animal control came to the house after the body, which we're told was badly decomposed, was discovered, and they took 2 dogs away. And they're going to obviously look into it, but immediately they're not suspecting any foul play. Real bummer, though.
Poor dogs.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about SmackDown, which was tonight. Ended a little over an hour and a half ago. So we'll just get right down into the results of it. So show opened up. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bayley all got into a little skirmish with Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, Candice LeRae, just to set up their War Games match. And of course, Rhea Ripley was wearing that Batman mask again that she's been wearing the last couple of weeks. And that, I'm telling you, that mask is something else. I'm absolutely fascinated with that Batman mask they ever wearing because it's got an enormous oversized beak on it. It's
what are you
huge.
trying to say, Noah?
I'm trying to say that she goes home and pegs Buddy Matthews with the beak of her Batman mask and then wears it to SmackDown.
What, you're saying you wouldn't let her peg you?
Are you saying you would?
Rhea Ripley, I mean, she has probably a better shot, but
You're
no.
an idiot.
Well, you're a maroon.
I'm a maroon. Okay. Great. So that's how the show opened. Then they had the opening match of the night was Andrade versus Shinsuke Nakamura, his first singles match back on SmackDown, and Shinsuke Nakamura.
That match was great.
Yeah, no, he looked great. I really liked the extra kind of dark aura of him, the remix of his entrance music. There's something just menacing about Shinsuke Nakamura now that is really interesting to me.
I like a lot in that match too. I wish they would do something now that he's back, but it seems like he's getting in the shuffle yet again.
Well, of
Like
course.
every company he goes to.
Yeah, no, they're not going to do anything with him, and same thing with Andrade. It's going to be a perpetual curtain puller, but it was still a cool match. I liked it. Liked it a lot.
I mean, I get that Andrade's with Charlotte Flair and, he'd rather spend more time with her, but if you look at it from the perspective of the business right now, I guarantee he was making comparable money in AEW and not even having to work.
Yeah, but do you want to go out and wrestle in front of an empty crowd and deal with all the backstage bullshit and drama that goes on?
They were using him so sparingly. I mean, he got to sit home and collect his money and not get hurt.
Yeah,
I mean,
guys like that want to be on TV, though. That's the problem. His ego is what's keeping him from just checking out and collecting an easy paycheck.
well, that's what's happening with Ray Phoenix right now. He's going to be sitting at home the next year, still making that 6-figure contract, having to do nothing.
Yeah, there you go. Up next, we had Cody Rhodes over Carmelo Hayes.
Man, they're trying everything they can with Carmelo Hayes, and I don't get it.
No, and I have a feeling they've been kind of planning something for a long time between Carmelo and Cody, because when I went to SmackDown a few months ago, the dark match after the show went off the air was Cody Rhodes versus Carmelo Hayes. So I'm wondering if they're trying to set something up for those two, but here's my problem. I have no clue who Carmelo Hayes is if I'm a casual viewer of SmackDown that tunes in every once in a while. No clue who the hell he is. So that's going to be problematic if they're trying to establish him against a main event player, but that seems to be the case with many people on the roster these days. All right, what's going on here? All right. Michin defeated Lash Legend and Piper Niven in a triple threat match. Dewdrop, your future ex-wife. Dewdrop.
I think she's pretty.
I didn't say she wasn't pretty. I said she'd be your future ex-wife.
And why is that?
I don't know. You're into Irish women.
Well, she's from Scotland, first of all. Big difference.
I don't know. Thank you. But you had no idea that the lead singer of My Chemical Romance was Joe Rogan's cousin.
I did not.
Jacob Fatu over Jey Uso to gain the War Games advantage. Real predictable on that one, but one thing that I wanted to point out that I found really, really amusing is Jacob, he's son of Tonga Kid. They are Sacramento locals. Tonga Kid lived in Rancho Cordova for many, many years, which is about 10 minutes from my house. And that's obviously where Jacob came up from. And when Jacob came out to the ring, I forget, who was it that made these comments about where he came up? He said that he had to fight his way out of Lincoln Village, the Lincoln Village neighborhood of Sacramento. Like it was, they made it seem like it was South Central. So I'm going to point something out for everyone watching that's not familiar with the Sacramento area. The area, Lincoln Village, what they were talking about, it's not the best neighborhood in the world, but it's definitely nothing. It's nothing like you're making it out to be. And even the idiots that go on freaking Urban Dictionary and try to call it like a miniature version of Oak Park, it ain't. There's some ghettos in Sacramento, and the area around Mather Air Force Base, the old decommissioned Mather Air Force Base, it's old, and yeah, there's some sketchy characters, but it ain't it ain't gang shootings constantly. There's worse parts of Rancho Cordova, like the area along Folsom Boulevard's not great. But the worst parts of town, you're looking at Oak Park, North Highlands, bits and pieces of West Sacramento, Del Paso Heights. Del Paso Heights is way worse than Lincoln Village. So they're trying to make Jacob Fatu out to be a tough guy. And I'm not saying he's not a tough guy, but he didn't grow up in a war zone by any stretch of the imagination. They would have been better off saying he had to wrestle his way out of the indies. He wrestled in the Colonial Theater in the ghetto of Oak Park. That would have made him look more badass. Because that is true. He won the SPW tag title in the hood of Sacramento. So, but Jacob Fatu over Jey Uso, he gained the War Games advantage for tomorrow, which wasn't surprising. The big segment of the night was the sit down between Paul Heyman, CM Punk, and the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And it was to be expected. It was very similar. It was the cinematic kind of face-off, similar to what they did with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns a few months back in the middle of the stadium.
Full disclosure, that segment made me fall asleep.
It wasn't great. It was predictable, but what they hinted at was one interesting element, which is what is the favor that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk now for being the fifth man? That is the question, because everyone's been
sucky.
You sick fuck. You sick freak.
I don't know if you know this, but the wrestling business is a little gay, and that's not to sound condescending or homophobic, but there are a lot of overtones in this industry.
They're trying to scale it back a little bit, though. It ain't like the Billy and Chuck where it was insulting like it used to be. But disclaimer, the opinions of Mike Nagel do not reflect the opinions of me.
And vice versa, because you're the one who's coming with that way out there shit. I'm just telling it like it is.
Yeah. All right. That was SmackDown. Let's talk about Survivor Series tomorrow on Peacock. You gonna be tuning in for that?
It's not like I'm going anywhere. There's going to be a ton of snow outside.
Yeah.
I'm going to chill here in the heat. I'm going to order me some DoorDash, and I'm going to watch Survivor Series.
Ha ha ha. All right, let's
You know what's crazy to me? You know what's crazy to me though now?
What's crazy?
Before we get into it? So, remember how Survivor Series used to always be about the elimination matches and everything?
Yes.
Now they've changed it to where it's just War Games every year now.
Yeah.
Instead of the elimination match.
Really, who cares? Who cares?
I care, damn it.
Well, that's because you're old. You're not hip with the new wrestling crowd.
I also don't like the fact that the Royal Rumble's in February next year.
Oh, it's not going to be in January?
It's going to be February.
Wow.
And Royal Rumble is the one thing I look forward to when the new year starts, and they just completely freaking off.
That's a bummer. That's one I really want to go to a Royal Rumble. But there has
Me too. I was supposed to go to two of them, and then some people lied to me and ditched me and went to it.
Without you?
Yeah.
Are these two individuals extremely bald now? Well, to be fair, you probably saved a shit ton of money by them flaking on you.
Well, one of them was 1999, so I doubt it. And then the other one was the one, I believe, that was in Phoenix.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's run through the matches. Let's start with LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship.
I don't know. I think LA Knight's lost a ton of momentum.
Me too.
Since he won the title, and I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to Shinsuke to try and build him back up, to try and make him appeal as kind of like main event level again, so they can put him in there with people like Cody and Randy Orton. But I just don't see him winning the big, world heavyweight title or the WWE undisputed title, because that whole landscape is completely full right now. But I do see him as someone who could carry the U.S. title again, and he has some really good matches.
Right.
However, I do see them putting LA Knight in that mix for the main event spot. So it wouldn't surprise me. I'm going with Shinsuke Nakamura to win the U.S. title.
I'm going to second that. LA Knight had a crap ton of momentum. People were comparing his momentum to that of Steve Austin, which I think was a real massive, like a Stretch Armstrong level stretch. He's good and he's over, but I think
the biggest momentum he had going for him was that everybody wanted to see Logan Paul drop the U.S. title.
Yeah. And the thing is he's old. And hear me out. Because I've said this in past streams that there are a lot of people that are older now and they're just now becoming stars into their 40s. So I'm not talking out both sides of my mouth. My problem with LA Knight is he looks old. He looks extremely old. Do you see that? He looks like a 45-year-old truck driver.
Don't talk about the Ricker like that.
So, I see them.
I saw him in his rookie year at Future Stars of Wrestling in Las Vegas. He's not... Oh, that was a long time ago, though, but...
So, I agree for the same reasons that you outlined, that I think Shinsuke Nakamura is going to go over. But the problem is there's too many damn titles. And the reason why they have too many titles is because there's 200 people under contract now? It's absolutely ridiculous. And they're trying to give out these titles like they're participation trophies at this point. The women's IC title, I went on a tirade about that last week.
I think it's crazy that they're having more than one women's mid-card title. I don't think it means anything now.
Yeah, you do that if you're trying to start up an all-women's wrestling brand. Then you need to stack a bunch of titles in there. But the problem is they haven't pulled the trigger on an all-women's wrestling brand. And why is that, Mike? Because nobody would watch it. That's the reality. But
I mean, the thing that kind of irks me is that they don't even give the women the time to be able to have these matches. So it's either going to be like an IC title match or it's going to be a women's world title match. Right. You never really see the women's tag team titles and the women's world title.
I gotta pause you right there. Hey, what's up, A? Okay, it's joining us in the live chat is No Nut November participant A Nang. What's up, A? He wrote in, can't stay long, but I wanted to pop in. Great, everyone. And also say that it's really nice to see Mike Nagel again. And also, I agreed with his stance on politics.
God bless America. Hey, Noah, the only thing I'm going to say is that when Trump was president the first time, I was not homeless. When Biden was president, I became homeless.
All right, triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. It's going to be Braun Breaker, the Mark, He's the biggest mark under contract right now with that dumbass Goldberg tattoo that I will never let him live down. And the fact that I got to say, Rick and Scott Steiner had to have been trolling him when they didn't say, dude, you want to be a wrestler? You are a fucking moron for getting a Goldberg tattoo on your shoulder. Don't do that. But they didn't do that. And even further, they didn't say, oh, WWE is going to sign you. Get your ass down to the tattoo parlor and cover that shit with something that's unique to you. The fact that they didn't have this conversation with Braun blows my mind.
Noah, he would whoop your ass.
I didn't say he wouldn't, but that's not my point. It's a joke. He looks like a joke with that Goldberg tattoo.
It's okay.
And then A said, love that intro. And then he apologized to me for his political beliefs. But look, I'm done. I'm just going to say this and then I'm going to move on. I am done trying to convince Trump supporters that Trump is not a good person to run this country. And the reason why I'm done, I'm done because everybody that voted for Trump, there is no campaign promise, pitch, slogan, no, like you could make it rain money from the sky. There is nothing that a Democratic candidate could do to flip a Trump supporter. So
that's not true.
No, that is totally not true.
If the Democrats had a good candidate who wasn't full of shit and who wasn't a liar and whose stances on stuff didn't flip-flop every couple weeks, there's a good chance the Democrats would have won, but people were tired. Let
me finish and then I'm going to move on. Here's where the Democrats went wrong. They tried to flip Trump supporters that were never going to flip. What they should have
even Biden didn't vote for Kamala.
Well, you don't know that.
I do know that. He took a MAGA hat and put it on and said, can I keep this?
No, that's bullshit. Anyway,
I'll show you the
clip. Show me the clip later, but let me make my final point. Rather than trying to convince a Trump supporter, which is dead on arrival, they should have gone after the millions of Americans that didn't vote at all. That's where they went wrong, was not going after the voters that were either undecided, and because they were undecided, they didn't want to vote at all. That's what should have happened. I'm not saying that would have definitively changed the outcome, but I feel like it would have narrowed the margin a lot more.
Right. Democrats lost states that they've never lost before.
Survivor Series War Games. Braun Breaker defending his championship against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser for the IC championship.
Even though my roots are German, I do not like Ludwig Kaiser.
Why not? Is it the character or the person?
I think he's just bland as fuck.
Well, whose fault is that?
Not mine.
Well, I'm not saying it's probably not his fault either.
There's just something about him that doesn't scream superstar. Even though he's dating Tiffy Time, maybe, that promo AJ Lee cut is true where charisma doesn't get transferred in the bedroom.
I'm not going to say anything because Mary can probably hear me, so I'm going to keep my opinions to myself. Okay, I'm going to go on this one.
I'm going with Braun.
Yeah, I see him retaining. Because they're not going to put it on Sheamus. Plus, Sheamus doesn't need it at this point. And Ludwig Kaiser, I think this is going to strain the relationship between Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther. They've already kind of hinted at some tension between the two of them. And him losing the match may increase that tension a little bit. As much as I don't like Braun Breaker. But I could see why Braun Breaker needs it. he needs the Intercontinental Championship to look like a
I
tough
want
guy.
to see Braun Breaker hit a Steiner screwdriver on Ludwig Kaiser.
It is hard to put Ludwig Kaiser up against Sheamus and Braun Breaker and have it look believable. I'm no disrespect, but he's a scrawny little. I don't know. He's scrawny and lanky, and Braun Breaker's a big guy, and Sheamus is a big guy. I was 3 feet away from Sheamus at a comic convention many years ago. I got to have a little conversation with him after a panel discussion. He was very nice, but this motherfucker, and I've had been to many WWE events with him. I knew he was big, but when you're standing up next to him, Sheamus is freaking enormous. And Ludwig Kaiser up against those two, it's not believable. But I'm going with Braun. What's your pick, Braun?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go. Okay, women's War Games match. Rhea Ripley with the Batman mask. The Batman mask that probably has a questionable odor emanating from the nose. Teaming with Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Io Sky. Oh, and Bayley.
It smells like shrimp on the bobby.
Up against Judgment Day, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And by the way, is Raquel Rodriguez still married to Braun Strowman?
No, they weren't married. They were dating, and they broke up a while ago.
That was an interesting pairing between those two. So you had Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez representing the Judgment Day, teaming up with Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. By the way, does Tiffany...
I miss Indy Hartwell.
What?
I miss Indy Hartwell.
By the way, Tiffany Stratton still hasn't cashed in officially her Money in the Bank, right? She has?
Right.
What?
She has not.
Okay.
She has not.
Here's my prediction. Team Rhea Ripley, I'm just going to call it Team Rhea, is going to get the win over the Judgment Day. And Nia Jax is going to be on her back. And Tiffany Stratton is going to see an opportunity. And she's going to cash in and win the title. That's my prediction.
I think she's gonna wait till the Royal Rumble, and there's gonna be some kind of match. I think Rhea Ripley's gonna beat Liv Morgan, and I think she's gonna cash it in on Rhea Ripley.
Or even better, here's what might happen. Tiffany Stratton goes to start to hand over the briefcase to the referee, and at the last second before the referee puts her hands, or he, whoever the referee is, puts hands on the briefcase to make it official, you see Nia Jax kip up, which would be freaking hilarious coming from Nia Jax. She'll kip up and just beat the shit out of Tiffany Stratton inside that cage.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It would be entertaining, though. That would definitely be a
here's
highlight.
The thing. Now, see, here's the thing.
Hey,
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Hey. What's your pick for this match?
Rhea Ripley's team.
That's what I said, but you don't think there's a cash-in.
No, Rhea Ripley's undefeated in War Games, I believe.
Cool. She's probably going to use the...
I'm definitely looking forward to it, though, because Io Sky does some crazy shit in these War Games matches, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. She's definitely going to use the mask as a weapon against Liv Morgan. I'm not a fan of Bianca Belair. I've been finding myself more and more annoyed with her with every match. I don't know why. It's completely irrational.
I like her way better as a heel.
It's completely an irrational hatred of Bianca Belair. There's something that's irritating about her.
There's just some people you can't have as a raw baby face, and I think she's one of those people. I think she's way more entertaining as a heel, and she could do a lot more stuff.
Now their reasoning is good. It's the kind of the John Cena effect. She is one of the top stars with little girls that are fans of the product. I get it.
I get it too.
But it's not, it's good business, but it's just irritating. Every time she comes out and waves that fake little ponytail, yeah, you're not fooling anyone. That's fake extensions.
And probably with marketing for USA Network, because her and Montez have that show too.
Yeah.
That they don't want to turn either of them heel.
Well, wasn't Miz a heel when they did that Miz and Mrs. show for a while? Wasn't he a heel then?
Yeah, but it's different because people love to hate him too, though.
That's true.
I don't think
Miz is one of those guys. Miz is one of those guys where if he's a heel, people will still, the people that were going to cheer for Miz are still going to cheer for him even if he's a heel.
Yeah, I think he's at that point now where I don't think there's anything else he can do to make people hate him, even if he is a bad guy.
Hang on, I'm doing one thing here. All right, up next, we have the World Heavyweight Championship match is going to be Damian Priest challenging the champion Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Gunther is going to retain. That is my prediction.
I agree with you. And on the other side of the coin with that whole Ludwig Kaiser thing, I think Gunther is exactly he is the personification of what WWE is right now. He's big, bad, has physical matches, he's believable, and I really enjoy watching him. And I really enjoyed his promo on Monday too.
Yeah.
Before he got razors next to the table.
He's believable. I can buy into Gunther. He's got that big square jaw of his that looks like if you were to punch him in the face, he wouldn't feel it. So it's a cool story. I've sung praises. I've given Gunther his flowers, but to go from being what he was to what he is now, both professionally and physically, being a fat, pale, white kid with multicolored rainbow hair. He looked absolutely ridiculous in those high school gyms. The last person you would expect to get signed by WWE. Frankly, if you look at some really old indie material of Damian Priest, same thing. Last person you would expect to get hired, but even more with Gunther just because of how ridiculous he looked. But he put in the
once
work.
Damian Priest Ring of Honor and was Punishment Martinez, he really got his shit together and he really got good. So I knew once I saw him in Ring of Honor, it was only a matter of time.
But to do what Gunther did and just completely not only transform himself, but transform his body, that couldn't have been easy. He must have had to
Damian
change
Priest did
everything.
the same thing. Damian Priest was really overweight too.
Yeah. For sure. So,
and he's in his 40s.
Yeah, no, that's another one of those examples of people that became stars well after they turned 40. It's definitely a new world we're in. So I'm calling it. Gunther's going to retain against Damian Priest. There's no good reason to take the strap off of him right now at this point. I don't see Gunther losing until Royal Rumble and that's the earliest, maybe even WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm thinking WrestleMania is going to be the spot.
Yeah. I mean, you already got your babyface WWE champion in Cody Rhodes.
But I got to tell you, this Royal Rumble is going to be a lot different than the last couple years because remember, it's been Cody Rhodes and Gunther pretty much from beginning to end in the last two, so they got to change it up this coming year. So I'm actually really looking forward to it.
Right. All right. So your pick also is Gunther?
Yes.
Cool. All right. Main event, assuming this is the main event, the men's War Games match is going to be the original Bloodline along with Sami Zayn and CM Punk, with Paul Heyman in their corner, going up against the new bloodline, Solo Sikoa.
I love you, Solo.
Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa, and Bronson Reed being their fifth.
I really like that they added Bronson Reed to the new bloodline. I think that gives them even more credibility because that dude is shooting up.
Yeah. This one's close to call for me because there's a lot of ways that this could go. There's a lot of ways.
I see the new bloodline winning.
You think so? Because there's been speculation.
I think Sami Zayn's going to turn on him and join Solo's bloodline.
It could either be Sammy or it could even be Paul Heyman because they did that hint where Paul Heyman was wearing the same shit that Solo Sikoa wears with the red handkerchief in his pocket. Remember that?
Yeah, but I don't think Paul Heyman's going to turn this quick. They're going to do something, and it may not even be Paul Heyman turning to go with the new bloodline. It could be Paul Heyman with CM Punk. We haven't seen CM Punk as a heel yet since he's been back.
Ooh, that's interesting. So, and that goes back to the favor that CM Punk is now owed by Paul Heyman. Could it have something to do with that? But we got. Go ahead.
I see the new bloodline getting along better as a team because, you got the element of Sami Zayn who, I don't think Roman trusts him 100%. And then you got CM Punk and, the only one who trusts him is Jey Uso because they went to a Blackhawks game together.
Yeah.
That's about it.
There's a lot of different ways this could go. What if Roman Reigns backstabbed the original bloodline and joined... What if Roman Reigns bowed to the new tribal chief and just turned ultra heel as a result?
I don't see that happening. I think he likes the chance he's getting right now being a babyface after so long.
Yeah. I don't see the original bloodline going over. I see it being the new bloodline going over. But there's so many variables. I don't know how that's going to happen.
The other thing is, it could be Jimmy Uso because they really didn't give him as bad a beatdown as they did to Paul Heyman or anybody else. And Jimmy is kind of still getting back in the good graces with everybody. And he's Solo's brother. I could see him trying to one-up Jay and rejoin the new bloodline.
Okay. All right. So,
there's a lot of possibilities, but my gut's telling me that it's either going to be Sami Zayn or CM Punk turning on him.
Yeah, we actually haven't seen CM Punk as a heel in well over 10 years. When was the last time we saw him as a heel? Straight Edge Society?
All In when he put Jack Perry in a headlock.
Oh, be quiet. That made him even more over as a babyface.
Cry me a river.
Didn't you not get along with CM Punk?
He was an asshole to me with the one interaction we had.
Was that in
And
Nashville?
that was a long, long time ago. Yes, that was at the Nashville Fairgrounds for TNA, even before he blew up. I can see where a lot of these people have had these kind of interactions with him. He wasn't a very nice person.
Did he just call you a mark or something and blow you off?
No, I was in an official capacity backstage as an invited guest.
Oh yeah,
and
didn't Jeff invite you? Jeff Jarrett? Who invited you?
No, actually Dixie invited me.
Oh, Dixie invited you. Okay.
And I flew out there from LA, and I wasn't even in the backstage area. I was actually back by the concession stands watching them set up and everything because that's where I was told to stay. And then he's standing right in front of me and bumps into me, and he's like, "Who the fuck are you? Why are you here?" And then he gets called away. And just not very nice at all.
I totally believe
And
that story. That sounds.
And everybody else was so nice. Like Don Callis was the first person who walked up to me and shook
Yeah.
my hand, and it was like his last night at TNA before he did his teaching thing in Canada, and like just like everybody else was so cool. Jerry Lynn was really cool. Like a lot of the people who worked at even Dixie. Like I was talking to Dixie, and like I went to the office the next day. So I mean, I didn't get what his problem was because I was officially invited there, and with all the money I spent going back and forth, it was just ridiculous. That was like the single worst interaction I think I may have had, except for that Luther Reigns thing that happened.
Well, that didn't really happen to you. That happened to somebody else.
No, that happened to me.
Well, what happened to you? I thought that the camera got damaged. That belonged to
I
somebody
was
else.
holding the camera,
Oh, okay.
and he slapped it out of my hand, and it was someone's brand new camera that we were using for the first time.
Well, in retrospect, that's actually quite amusing. That it was it damaged? Please tell me it was damaged.
It wasn't damaged, but my face got hurt because he smacked it right into my face like I had a chipped tooth.
You could have, if he chipped your tooth, why didn't you sue him?
Yeah, a lot of people in the business were telling me to do that, but I did something else that I don't want to get into right now.
See, when I went backstage to a TNA event, the only person I had a problem with was your BFF Kid Cash.
Oh, he's the best.
Oh, he was a dick.
Yeah, but that's how he is.
Well, I'm just saying he was a dick. That's all.
Yeah, but once you get to know him, he's really cool.
Okay. He was literally the only one that I found to be, and he wasn't overtly a dick, because that wouldn't be fair.
He's my friend. He's my friend, and he tried to run me over with his car at the Nashville Fairgrounds, okay?
He wasn't overtly a dick, but you could tell he just had a chip on his shoulder that was clearly apparent.
There was a lot of politics going on in TNA that I can't get into, but if you understood the kind of pressure that a lot of the people there were under, you would understand.
I kind of got a good idea, but I get what you're saying. Okay, let's backtrack. Go ahead.
Listen, and this is why I will never say a bad word about him. The first time I went to Nashville, where do you think I stayed?
In the back of his car?
No, I stayed on his couch, and that was the first time I met him. And like we talked for a bunch that first time I went out there, and we've been cool ever since. Like there's a lot of extenuating circumstances with things, but like to just walk up to somebody who's obviously there talking to other people and then just say stupid shit and purposely walk into them and try and puff out your chest, that's the sign of someone who deserves to be knocked down a couple pegs.
Oh, wait. Wasn't that the instance? Didn't he get extremely wasted and start like babbling on a karaoke microphone and then chop you? Or am I thinking of something else?
That was China.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
I miss China.
Oh yeah, no. That's that was tragic for sure. I can't say a bad word about China. That'd be fucked up. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's talk about NXT from Tuesday. And let me just get right into it. Ethan Page over Axiom in a Iron Survivor qualifying match. Axiom is impressive. That guy can go. Like, I would love to see him mix it up with Rey Mysterio.
I'm a big fan of Ethan Page. I've been a fan of his for a long time,
Yeah.
and I'm happy he's finally getting a weekly spot and not just randomly inserted to stuff like he was in AEW. And
Right.
he's a big reason why I've been watching a lot more NXT than I was.
Yeah. NXT is what AEW should be, but it's not.
It's like, fair disclosure, it's Ethan Page and Sol Ruka are like the two main reasons why I watch NXT.
All right. Lola Vice over Ren Sinclair. Now, here's the deal. Here's my problem watching NXT. There is a consistent trend in NXT of the girls wearing tights that, let's just say, ride up consistently.
And that's the other problem I have, because Lola Vice is an actual MMA fighter.
Yeah.
And I am a big fan of hers as well. But Ren Sinclair, aka Maddie Renkowski, had so many tryout matches with AEW. It's unbelievable that they didn't sign her. And she worked a lot for Thunder Rosa's promotion in Texas. Like, her and Fallon Henley were on Dark so many times, and it's just it's unbelievable to me that Tony didn't sign them when he had the chance and let them go over to WWE.
So anyway, my point I was trying to arrive at was it never fails. Every time, like, I could be watching NXT, great matches going on in the ring. Like, for instance, let's say Ethan Page and Axiom. Could be watching that. Mary's in the other room, doesn't come out for anything, but she always will only walk into the room when there's like some women's match on and it's like a full fucking moon on the screen. And she's like, what the fuck are you watching? Every time, never fails. Never fails.
That's okay. I'll have your back once I get out there and we're watching this shit.
No, it was, you know, that clip that went viral a couple of weeks ago. It got like 1.4 million views on social media, that one girls match. You know what I'm talking about? It was literally that moment, that split second, Mary walks into the room. And I wasn't even, to be honest with you guys, if I'm lying, I'm flying and my feet ain't left the ground. I was not paying attention to that match whatsoever. I was working and it was on in the background. But Mary comes on season and is like, do all the women wear thongs now on Kim? Like, I think that's an NXT thing. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Lola Vice over Ren Sinclair. Then we had...
I do really like Sinclair, though.
What was that?
I do really like Ren Sinclair, though.
Yeah. We had NXT North American Champion Tony D'Angelo over Shawn Spears.
And congratulations to Tony D'Angelo, because I believe he got married over the weekend.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome. All right. I really like Shawn Spears, by the way.
They need to give Tony D'Angelo's family the Olive Garden music from the commercial, because when you're here, you're family.
That's great. All right.
Is he Joe Rogan's cousin, too?
What?
Is he Joe Rogan's cousin, too?
Is he? You're a dick.
That was a joke.
Well, you know what I think of your joke? Wah,
What?
wah.
Don't make me go all cholo on you, boy.
What?
I'll go Conan on you.
Julia defeated Kehlani Jordan in an Iron Survivor qualifying match.
I really like Julia, too.
Yeah.
A lot of these women that they're bringing into NXT, they're doing it the right way this time, because a lot of these women are going to be WWE stars.
It almost, and I was just talking about it a few minutes ago when we were on SmackDown, which was the women's brand. NXT almost feels like it's bordering on a women's brand. It's all women's matches. I feel like the majority of the cards have been women's matches, and the men's matches are less and less. Have you noticed that pattern as well?
I have.
Quite interesting. And look, like I've said, and this is no disrespect to women or women's wrestling. Women's wrestling has made tremendous strides since the diva days, I guess you could say. Even though, to be fair, there were some standouts back then too, but nowadays it's come a long way. But the problem is when you're creating a TV show, you're not marketing it to a niche audience. Oh, what do we have here?
Holy smokes.
Holy smokes.
What up?
Who is that? I can barely. Oh, it is the People's co-host, Eric Barnes.
That's me.
Holy shit. We have not had the complete crew together on a live YouTube telecast in well over 5 years. All in the same place together at the same time.
So what's up? Yeah. What are you guys talking about?
I wish it were my blood alcohol level that was up, to be honest with you.
Noah was talking about how he doesn't respect women's.
No, I was.
Just the normal stuff then.
Let me finish my thought here. Let me finish my thought. They don't. So you got to create a TV show for a mass audience, not a niche. And the problem is, a women's brand a lot of people would enjoy it, but it would really be the hardcore niche WWE audience. It's not going to be your casual channel surfer that tunes in for that. But it's cool. I got nothing against them featuring more women's matches than men's matches in NXT.
Flip through the channels and comes on the CW and sees these women in tight ass tights. They're not going to stop. You don't think casual fans are going to stop for women beating the shit out of each other next to nothing?
Not to the numbers that would sustain a show. From the long haul. It would be
Democrats for you.
Shut up. Okay, Eric, I got to talk to you for a second. I got a bone to pick with you.
Okay.
I really don't. How have you been?
Yeah, I didn't think you did.
What's new? What's new in Ebar's world?
Not much. I mean, we talked a few weeks ago, whenever that was, maybe a month ago.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
It's the same.
By the way, we got Matt Helms in the live chat.
What up, Matt?
Hello, guys.
What up?
How are you doing tonight? By the way, because he lives in Vegas now, how do you know him? What is your relationship really like? Tell us how you really feel about Matt Helms.
He was like OG crew, dude. Like, you not knowing him is an insult.
No, I do know him. I do know
That's
him.
how I know him. And then, like, he would come to my streams and come and tell me the weather and stuff.
For some reason, I thought you knew him in your personal life also.
No, I don't.
Okay. All right.
Noah, if you want to join the crew, if you want to rejoin the crew, you got to grow a beard like me and Eric.
Yeah, what's the deal?
True,
the beard is out of control right now.
I don't try to tame it, and I don't try to control it. To be honest with you,
it's
I let it do its thing.
It's like full on like caveman status.
Yeah,
I have to have mine because it's like 20 degrees out here. It keeps my neck warm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
I don't wear skulls like a pussy.
Waiting on you, Noah.
Well, I can't grow a beard. That's plainly obvious. I tried to grow here. Let me. I have you guys spotlighted right now. Let me unspotlight for a second. So I tried to grow out like a goatee on my chin, but it just came out in like two little patches right here with a bald spot right in between. It was not a good look whatsoever. Why is that
so late?
But to creep Mary out, I did grow a Vince McMahon mustache that I had for about a day.
Guy incognito.
No, I was Oh man. But no, I can't grow any facial hair.
As soon as I get back to California, I'm shaving this. I don't like looking homeless to begin with, and I've been getting some dirt.
You're shaving everything except your eyebrows. The skullet has got to go. It has to.
Don't let him boss you around like that.
Oh man. So when are we bringing the scoop back? I gotta put you guys on blast.
How are we the ones on blast whenever we've been saying we do it for like 100 years? You would
No,
never do it.
I'm homeless. How am I supposed to have it?
You're not homeless. How are you homeless? I see walls around you. I see a roof over your head. You're on your phone right now.
I've been living in a no-tell motel since October 7th. So stop it. Well, before that, I was in my car for 3 weeks. You
seem to be leveled up over Eric right now. Eric is the one that looks homeless. He's like out in the darkness of the night right now.
Well, I told you there's people all in the house, so I didn't want to do this while I was in there.
By the way, how was your Thanksgiving, Eric?
It was good. Ate some food.
Yeah.
Hung out.
Did you eat some good food? Was it good?
Yeah, pretty good. What'd you do?
I went to Calistoga. I went to my aunt's house in wine country. It was quite nice. Very beautiful day. A little cold.
Oh, good for you.
Oh, I'm in wine country.
And I drank some very delicious wine. It was quite nice.
I walked across the street to the Sheetz gas station, got a burrito. So go fuck yourself.
What kind of burrito?
Yeah, what kind of burrito? Then we'll judge.
The quesarito that they make with that extra cheese in the middle of the two.
That sounds good. You're making me hungry.
With some grilled chicken, some pico de gallo, and sour cream. It was delicious.
Well,
it sounds fucking delicious.
That's more of a Thanksgiving.
And then I got an order of mozzie sticks with the ranch dust on them, and they were delicious.
Okay. So
I'm a Sheetz food. I'm gonna miss Sheetz the most when I leave here because that's the best gas station.
You'll be all right. There's good stuff out here too. But I told you when you get here, I'm going to make you a turkey, Mike. And it's gonna look like it did in a certain Thanksgiving celebration in WWE many years ago. Who was that violated the turkey before the meal? Was that Midian?
I don't know.
Who was that?
There you go. You got me.
And then when it showed back up in the catering area, like the carcass where you stuff it, it was like it was like this bigger. It was sick. It was sick.
I honestly didn't like turkey that much to begin with, and you just soured me on it completely.
Well, I'm gonna cook you a delicious turkey. I'm gonna cook it Jacques Pepin style, just for you. I'm quite the Iron Chef.
I'm more interested in the dispensaries I get to hit up once I get back to California.
There you go. We do have those. We do have those in plentiful availability. Matt Helms in live chat says it's 48 degrees in Las Vegas right now.
It's snowing outside.
What? Look at it this way, Mike. At least you're not in Vegas right now. Would you want to be in a no-tell motel in Vegas? No, you would not.
I'd be on the casino floor right now, to be honest.
Just spend all night in the casino, play the penny slots, getting the free drinks.
No, I'm platinum status at the station casinos. I get comped hotel rooms out there for free. I could stay for a month and they wouldn't charge me.
Oh, nice. Look at you.
And then I get free food too. I could go to the steakhouse every day if I wanted to. I literally am platinum status at station casinos.
There you go. All right, let's finish up with NXT since... By the way, Eric, what wrestling have you watched lately? Let's start there.
Barely any, to be honest. Since about like September.
Well, you better get started because we are going to bring back the scoop.
Okay.
Yeah. So my thought, and tell me what you guys think of this. My thought, because I want to differentiate the scoop from everything else that excuse me, everything else we do on the YouTube. What I'm thinking is I'm going to be the producer of the scoop, and I'll be on, and maybe I'll chime in here or there, but I want it to be primarily you guys. I want you guys to be driving the shit, because frankly, you'll do a better job than I will anyway. What do you think?
Then why are we doing it on a channel called Noah Mania?
We can start a neutral third channel. I don't care. We'll start a Twitch channel. Call it The Scoop. Twitch.tv.
I'm sure that's not taken.
Or whatever the fuck.
Well, now that Aiden Ross has gone from Kick, I wouldn't mind going to Kick.
No thanks. You probably want to go on onlywrestlers.com. RVD's new business venture. You didn't hear about that?
You're weird, Noah.
RVD and his wife started a competitor of OnlyFans called onlywrestlers.com. You didn't know that, Mike?
No, I knew it, but
they launched
like you did. You did that joke 3 weeks ago.
You're a dick. You are a grade A douchebag.
Material, that's Noah Mania.
You are a grade A douchebag. Who's in the live chat right now? Mad Gary 222. Noah, longtime fan. What's your opinion on Tanahashi? I'm going to defer to Mike on that one. Give me your opinion on Tanahashi.
I think he's going to retire soon.
Why is that?
Because isn't he the president of New Japan? Like they were saying, he's getting ready to go out on his retirement tour. So,
okay. I am not an expert on Tanahashi. I'll leave it at that.
I know Mark Henry was putting AEW on blast for how they're booking Okada.
I saw that. I did see that. And Tanahashi, he looks like he's 48 years old.
Yeah, he's getting ready. He's getting ready to go on his retirement tour, from what I heard, because he's the president of New Japan now.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I don't really. I watch a little bit of New Japan here and there, but there's only so many freaking hours in the week. There's only so much wrestling I can watch, so I'm sticking right now until I really get a rhythm going to Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and Dynamite. And also talk about the PLEs.
I was pretty disappointed with Dynamite this week.
Yeah, let's talk about Dynamite. Let's get through NXT first, though. Let's get through the rest
But before we do that, going head-to-head with Survivor Series tomorrow, AEW Collision starts at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific.
They moved they switched the time?
And then a live Rampage right afterwards. So it's going to be 3 hours of AEW tomorrow night on TBS or TNT. I forgot what channel it is.
The Saturday show is on TNT. And
so it'll be on TNT tomorrow, going head-to-head with Survivor Series, just like the original Survivor Series was brought in to compete against Starrcade. So this should be interesting.
AEW is going to get their asses royally fucking kicked tomorrow.
I mean, it starts at 1 p.m. Pacific, so I don't think they're expecting it to...
Not to mention, for the few people that don't get Peacock for free right now, and here's a tip for all of you guys. If you go on Peacock right now, if you're not a member, you can pay for a year up front of Peacock for only $19.99.
But you know why people won't want to do that? Because the WWE library is leaving on January 5th and going to Netflix.
The whole library is not on January 5th.
Yes, it is.
Not the whole library. That's only international. Yes, no, you're thinking of the network. The network internationally is closing down, and they're moving everything to Peacock. That's not in the United States, though.
They're moving it to Netflix, I'm telling you. I just read a huge thing.
That's international. They're moving it to, they're moving the whole, because they're shutting down the WWE network. Show me the article. Send me the link. It's international.
I only got one phone, bro.
Okay, well, I'm going to look for the link now then, because I want to prove you wrong on one thing. I got to prove you wrong on one thing.
You already gave me that tidbit of knowledge. You should hang your hat on that, because it's going to make you look like a dumbass.
This past week, subscribers to WWE Network received a press release email confirming that the network will be officially shutting down starting on January 1st, 2025, mere days before the Netflix premiere.
That didn't clear up anything.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
exactly what I said.
Let me read into the article. WWE streaming channel will run out its own before getting integrated into Peacock. Library of content includes WCW, ECW, and NWA content. Most of the PLEs replays the weekly shows, original content. But that all ends on January 1 when WWE Raw and the library moves to Netflix following a press release that it's shutting down. No, that's international. I don't think that's for domestic. Let me look it up.
The only reason I think Noah might have a leg to stand on is because it said WWE Network subscribers got that, and you can't subscribe in the USA, right?
No, you can't.
So maybe I still don't know.
The only thing that did happen, they did.
From what I read an email with a Netflix, not executive, but someone who works there, saying that all WWE content is moving over to Netflix in January as part of the deal.
Here, let me read this. Monday Night Raw's entire library will be moving to Netflix in December, which makes sense. And all new episodes will be on Netflix. NXT is not on Peacock anymore. They dropped that all, and it's all on the CW app now. SmackDown's library will remain on Peacock, with new episodes being added on a 30-day delay, which makes sense because SmackDown's still part of the NBC Universal family. All PLE events, including NXT PLEs, will remain on Peacock. All other WWE content, the archive, other territories, documentaries will remain on Peacock. WWE's deal with Peacock is 5 years into 2026. So we may see some movement on that front in early or mid 2025. So that's what I just got that one off of Reddit. So I don't think...
See, that's weird. That's weird because I heard different that the PLEs and everything were moving. So maybe that is just international. So maybe you are right.
Oh man.
Maybe.
If my vape pen was charged, I would take a rip off of it right now. So bad.
Noah, how long have you known me?
I have known you for 23 years.
Well, then you should know, if I'm wrong, at least I'm man enough to admit it, and I don't have to go into this psychobabble about, oh, I know that. Looking like Don Vito, motherfucker.
I don't look like Don Vito.
You do when you get flustered.
No, then don't compare me to Don Vito. That guy was a sick fuck for many reasons.
Allegedly.
There were many witnesses that saw that autograph signing that watched what he did to those girls that he shouldn't have.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
You can tell I've been talking to lawyers a lot lately because that's the only word I'm able to use correctly. Allegedly.
Allegedly. All right, NXT Women's North American Champion Fallon Henley defeated Tatum Paxley. That was it for NXT.
And see, Fallon Henley was another one who was on AEW during the pandemic, and she was the one I thought they should have signed immediately.
Yeah.
And they let her get scooped up by WWE too.
Yeah. So here's my beef. We're going to talk about AEW next. I said earlier, Eric, before you hopped on, that NXT is set up to do what AEW should be doing right now. And that is they should be running in a smaller studio with a packed audience. It looks, if you're, and this is a little tip if you're into like videography. So it looks way better on camera if you have a packed small venue and then have your hard cam way in the back with a really wide angle lens on it. It makes the building look a lot bigger and it's sold out. And that's pretty much what TNA does. And it looks good. But instead,
I want to bring up one point real quick before I forget.
Okay.
Ice Cube's son has a wrestling podcast,
Yes.
and
That's
he was talking.
yeah.
He
Junior.
he had a really good point. Like, why not put Big Boom AJ on the pay-per-view with QT at the beginning and have the Death Riders just beat the living shit out of him in front of his kids
I don't get
and like really get some heat. I thought that was a really good point.
O'Shea Jr. is wicked smart. I don't know, but he's critical of AEW, so that's why Tony can't swallow his pride. He should be giving O'Shea a job.
He should be giving me a job, damn it. I could turn that company around faster than Vince Russo.
Eric, who do you think would turn AEW around faster, you or Mike?
Mike,
You think Mike?
100%. Yes, without a doubt.
Okay, then.
I guarantee they wouldn't be laughed at for not selling out venues. I would make compelling storylines.
Well, so here's the problem with AEW, and this goes back to filmmaking in general. If just having a lot of money and spending a lot of money would make a film successful, the people with the most money would win every time. And The Rock in particular is proving that is definitely not the case, because you got all these big budget films where they're not even making their money back. And AEW, not obviously to that extreme, but they're tanking a lot of money into production and then having to turn around and use really tight camera angles so it doesn't look like the building's fucking empty, but it's obvious that it is. And I get I've read the excuses that their lighting and their set can't fit in a small building, and they're trying to work to fix that, but that's all BS and excuses in my opinion.
The real turning point will be when we see them run Hammerstein and see if they sell out or not.
Yeah,
because there's only like 1,500 seats, so if they can't sell that out, then there are some issues.
And wrestling fans love to go watch wrestling in the Hammerstein Ballroom, no matter who's running in it. It could be some outlaw.
I think ECW sold out, and they're going to be running there a few weeks later.
It could be an outlaw indie fed that nobody's ever heard of. If there's a wrestling match at the Hammerstein Ballroom, people are buying tickets to it. It's wild. So you're absolutely right. I couldn't agree with you more that that's going to be a big test. But they need to just focus on these smaller venues, or even maybe get a studio set up kind of similar to how they ran in that one building through the pandemic. I don't think.
Yeah, that's their building too. I don't understand why they don't just rent a Daly's place until they drum up the interest again and start selling.
Well, running in an amphitheater, I never really could dig wrestling in an amphitheater. They need to find something that's in the round, like a traditional building.
Fucking rich. He could fucking buy one of those small venues.
Yeah, well, his daddy's probably taught him that billionaires don't like to go all into any kind of venue. They want taxpayers to fund it. That's usually how it goes.
I'm not talking about a venue like that. I'm talking about like a small little amphitheater where it's not open.
Well, not even that. It's having...
Well... I'm talking about something like how World Class had the Sportatorium. Why couldn't he build something like that?
Could.
A 2,500 seat arena that would definitely sell out, even if they paper the tickets, as long as you have like a full crowd there. I mean, see, that's the kind of marketing I would do.
Or why doesn't he rent out a soundstage at Disney MGM like WCW did in the early 90s?
Well, they rented out TNA's soundstage when they were doing Dark towards the very end of the pandemic.
Yeah.
When people were allowed to walk in, you know.
I think they should. I mean, you have that would solve your lighting problems. You have all the lighting you need in one of those sound stages. Seating, everything. You got your bleachers. You'd be set. It would look really. But the presentation of like an NXT and a TNA, that's fun. There's energy, there's people there, and it's not empty. And the boys will put in more effort wrestling in a packed crowd versus it could be the same number of people, but in a giant venue, you're looking at empty seats. It throws you off. And the pandemic has proven for me that there's value. The fans really are part of the action, because even those Thunderdome events were like a fun novelty for a hot minute, but you don't have the energy, just people on a screen in an empty arena. Empty arena doesn't work.
Well, the other thing that's scary is it's not like they're touring or doing house shows, so the fact that they can't sell out shows for TV is a sign that something definitely needs to change. Because you would think it's the only time they're coming around in like 6 or 8 months. It's a got-to-go-to show where you need to buy tickets, and the fact that the arenas are only selling half the tickets, that's not a good sign for business. But, I mean, on the other end, these people are making it out to seem like it's the end of the world for AEW and mocking them and everything.
No.
And that's not good. That's not good for the industry either.
No, it's not. And the same people that are saying, AEW should die, are the same people that bitched and moaned that WWE was the only game in town for a while. So fortunately, Tony Khan has money, and as odd as it sounds, as wild as it is, AEW is making money. And for some reason, Warner Discovery really likes AEW, and they're not so concerned with the low attendance.
AEW has lasted longer than Monday Nitro.
No, Nitro was on for 5.5 years. I think they're about tied right now, because Nitro came on in 95 and ended in 01. And Dynamite started in 2019, so I think we're right about there. But yeah, to your point, they will outlast Nitro by a long shot.
Yeah, they already got the rights signed and everything, and hopefully with the streaming on Max, it'll bring in more business. But I mean, if you look at their merch sales too, I mean, it's not like the company's dying like all these marks would want you to believe.
Those Scissor Me Daddy Ass sold like hotcakes, those Scissor Me Daddy Ass shirts. Mary told me when we went to AEW, she said, "You are not buying one of those." But she did let me buy the Mommy is Always on Top t-shirt from a WWE show. Yeah, but that's it. That's what they got to do. They got to start running in smaller venues. But let's talk Dynamite. Let's just run through the results here. To be honest, I didn't catch Dynamite this week, so I think you
did, and it was hit and miss for me. They started the new Continental Classic. Some of the matches were okay. The whole thing. So I like Mercedes Moné as a wrestler, but I think the one area where she absolutely sucks, even though she's an actress now, apparently, her promo skills. It seems like she's mushmouth half the time, and you can't understand what she's saying. And I'm not doing that as a dig. I'm just saying that's the only part of her performance that I really can't get on board with.
I think she hates the wrestling business. She's in it.
Not after signing a $10 million a deal with Tony.
That's my point. She's not in this for a love of the business, because she's not improving her skills, the same skills you're talking about. She's in it for one reason and one reason only, the Monet.
Yeah, but I mean, her match with Chris Statlander on Saturday was freaking great.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of her. She has bitter contempt for the fans. She hates the fans, even when she's working as a babyface, and she doesn't even try to pretend
only at the airport.
She doesn't like fans, period. I guarantee it. She carries herself like she's Brock Lesnar in that regard.
All right, so her and Camille did a split-up angle on Dynamite to start the show off.
Let's run through the result. Was that the start of the show, or did they open it up? I thought they opened it up with MVP and the Hurt Syndicate at the top of the show.
Bye, Ebar.
What? What did I miss?
Bye, Ebar.
He dropped?
Yeah.
He just disappeared?
Yeah.
Aw.
I think that was after the Mercedes stuff.
Are you sure? Okay. Let me see here.
Maybe. I don't know. Wednesday was like a lifetime ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, let me run through it. That kind of threw me off having Eric drop. But okay, so MVP and the Hurt Syndicate opened up the show, and they started off with a match. It was Mark Briscoe versus Shelton Benjamin, and Shelton Benjamin picked up the win over Mark Briscoe. And although I didn't catch this show, I am a big fan of how they are portraying Shelton Benjamin in AEW. He looks like a star.
Yeah, it was I wouldn't say it was a great match, but it was okay.
All right. That's typically my feelings during every show. All right, let's see. Why did Ebar drop?
Hey, it was a Continental Classic opening round match too. So make sure you
Yes.
put that out there.
Yes. All right, then we saw. No, I think the Mercedes Moné thing happened after that match. Tony Schiavone had her out, and they did a little segment there. ROH World Championship match: Chris Jericho with Big Bill and Brian Keith defeated
Tomohiro Ishii.
Tomohiro Ishii. Yeah, that's. I wish I would have caught
Jericho's mouth was all busted open by the end of the match.
By the way, Eric says bye. He got so cold that his nipples were freezing off. He said it was very painful.
They got chapped.
His nipples got chapped, and he had to go back inside, but didn't want to break the flow of the show. So R.I.P. E-Bar. Where did you go?
I went to get a Cherry Coke Zero.
A Cherry Coke Zero. Well, why don't you move it out of the way of the camera?
To match my Cherry Cola vape.
So Jericho over Tomohiro Ishii via the Judas Effect. He had to do the Judas Effect twice and retain the ROH World title.
I hate saying this because Chris Jericho is like on my Mount Rushmore. I did not enjoy that match very much.
All right. Up next, we had a Continental Classic Gold League match. It was Claudio versus Ricochet.
Bald forever. That's what they were chanting in the arena.
So,
that match was really good, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
I really think Claudio's kicked it up a notch.
Oh, yeah.
I really liked it, yeah.
Well, it's open to, I mean, we all knew that Claudio was amazing going back to his old Ring of Honor days pre-WWE, but...
Well, I mean, I've gotten to see him live at PWG and even before the whole WWE thing, and that dude has always been big, and I knew once he turned heel, like, shit was going to start popping off.
Yeah.
And he just his mannerisms and like the brutality he's doing now in the matches as a heel, like the extra pain he's causing and just the little nuances and everything.
Right.
I'm really happy he's finally a heel in AEW.
But in WWE, when he was Cesaro, he was the guy that kind of resembled Claudio, but with a chastity belt on. He couldn't do shit. Could not do shit.
In the last couple matches, he had a win over Darby, I believe, last week on Dynamite, and then this week with Ricochet, and it was the same type finish where they got beaten up on the outside. Well, he smothered Darby and threw him through the the side table out there by where the announcers were and just battered the shit out of him, and he made it right back in the ring before he got counted out, and then just clotheslined his head off. And he did the same thing with Ricochet. He just didn't throw him through a table, but Ricochet just made it in. He clotheslined his head off, and that was the finish. And I thought that was great.
Awesome. All right, up next, it was Jamie Hayter over Queen Aminata in a Wrestle Dynasty 2025 International Women's Cup qualifier semifinal match. There's a mouthful for you.
That's what she said.
Oh.
I was a huge fan of Jamie Hayter, but something seems off since she came back. Like, it's just really weird. There's something missing. I don't know if it's the weird 70s gear. I don't know. I really don't know. But that match dragged on forever.
Okay. And then in your main
And
event,
then Willow Nightingale's in the other match with Serena Deeb tomorrow, I believe.
I still only think of her when she was part of the Straight Edge Society. I can't get the scene of her getting her head shaved bald out of my head.
Okay.
That's how old I am. I'm old. What can I say? I'm old. All right, main event. Brody King from House of Black defeated Darby Allin in a Continental Classic Gold League match.
He beat him with the Gonzo Bomb. It was a very physical match, probably my favorite match of the night. It was really, really good. And I'm glad that Brody King is off to a strong start in this Continental Classic. I kind of want to see him fight Okada.
Okay. All right.
And then we got the Gold League matches tomorrow.
So, next thing I want to talk about, by the way, Mohammed says Serena Deeb is so damn fine.
I agree with that.
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about Maven Huffman. No relation to Booker T. Huffman. I'm talking about the original Tough Enough winner, Maven, from season 1. So he has a YouTube channel. He's actually been quite successful with his YouTube channel as of late. He really has nailed down the titles of videos and the thumbnails to where he's got that YouTube algorithm in check. He must have someone helping him out. He does a really fantastic job marketing his YouTube channel. And he comes across as extremely positive and happy in his videos, which is another thing, another formula for success on YouTube. And I'll admit some of the videos are fun to watch, but what's starting to grind my gears, and just to back up a little bit, full disclosure, I was never a fan of Maven when he was a wrestler. And I don't know that it was through any fault of his own, but he was always the tough enough guy. He never could break away from that. And people want to talk about the feud with The Undertaker, which was literally the highlight of the guy's career. But and yes, Undertaker on his podcast, and he said this many times, that the idea of him eating the drop kick and going over the rope from Maven was Undertaker's idea, and Vince signed off on it. But Vince, let's call a spade, Michael. Vince didn't allow that to happen for Maven's benefit, to get him over as a star. The reality is he did that as a rib on the audience. That's all it was. It was a rib on the audience. Maven, I think, was hardcore champion. Was he ever U.S. champion or IC champ, or was he just hardcore champion?
Just hardcore.
Very disappointing run in WWE. every time I heard that stupid entrance music, which they used during the first season of NXT, I wanted to jump out a window. It was so dumb and his character was so generic. They should have, I'm not saying he couldn't do more, but they never were able to break him away from that. And part of that's on WWE, part of that's on Maven. Part of that's on him. So that's my take on his first run in WWE. So as far as the YouTube stuff, my beef with it, I like the technical work he's done. He's got an audience. He's got a bigger audience than I do. But my beef is there is an undertone, just a passive aggressive hatred towards WWE that he's masking with this. Oh, I loved my time in WWE. I would go back to WWE. But then at the same time, he's going on YouTube complaining that Triple H hates him and that's why he doesn't think he'll ever go back. He's complaining now about his royalty checks in the network era, and he revealed what his royalties look like. So and this is a quote, I'll just read the quote here. Once the WWE put out the network, I will be honest, royalty payments for me took a nosedive. The last royalty check I got was for $63. But then this is where he tries to reel in a little bit. But even still, the fact that I'm getting checks for a job I haven't done in 20 years, I'm eternally grateful. And it still kind of shocks me to this day. And then he went on to explain that before the network, he was getting royalties between $2,000 and $5,000 every quarter for DVD sales. So he's trying to toe the line and not say how he really feels, but saying how he really feels at the same time. And I see right through it. I think he should come out and be honest and say, you know, WWE, y'all can go fuck yourselves, because you held me down, you shackled me. I made suggestions for my character to break off, but Triple H hated me, and you know what? He can go screw himself, and so can Vince McMahon, that disgusting freak of a human being. He should be saying that. But instead, he's like toeing the line a little bit. Oh, well, it's unfortunate, but I still love WWE. Oh, by the way, please give me a job.
Well, to play devil's advocate,
Yeah, well, you do that.
everybody's royalty checks took a nosedive once the network came out.
And not to cut you off, this is not breaking news. The discussions around royalty checks have been happening since 2014 when the network went live. And the fact is, it didn't get any better with Peacock, because it's not like WWE took a chunk of that $1 billion or whatever NBC is paying them and cutting checks to all the wrestlers that are featured. And that's also part of the reason why.
I think the only royalties they get now are from T-shirt sales or merchandise, and then video games. They get nothing off of DVDs or anything.
Plus, not only that, they didn't even move the entire network library over to Peacock. So there's less footage to even get a royalty check for. But my point is, I think my beef with Maven is he needs to stop trying to suck WWE's asshole and just come out and tell the truth already.
Will you stop?
He should. He is. I see right through it. It's all a giant facade.
How can you see right through it with them big-ass sunglasses on your face?
Okay, so, let me explain, because you all probably think I look ridiculous wearing sunglasses indoors, although I will point out these are, let me see if you guys can see this on my beautiful 4K camera here. These are quite the Hollywood awesome bargain, as you can see, Mike. What brand is that?
I can't see it.
Let me come in more. Can you see it now? Oh, no, you can't. Let's try this. Can you see it now?
No, there's a glare.
They're Coach. My beautiful Coach sunglasses.
Why are you buying merchandise from Jonathan Coachman?
Oh, well, because, all those the checks that Vince wrote him for the XFL relaunch all bounced. Didn't you know that story that Vince McMahon pulled a Paul Heyman with Jonathan Coachman?
That's why he's letting Vince Russo pay him now.
And same thing, but the difference between Coach and other people that Vince screwed over, Oliver Luck, Andrew Luck's old man, was the commissioner, and he said, "You're not going to fuck me over, Vince. I'm going to sue your ass." And that's what the coach should have done, but he's a big wimp, in my opinion. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tirade now, and that's about YouTube. So I did a stooge test. I did a stooge test on YouTube with the stream on Tuesday. Well, not the stream. It was a pre-recorded episode, but I did a stooge test on YouTube. And that stooge test was, I featured a short, maybe 15-second clip of some WWE match, and I gave my commentary on it. So completely fair use. And sure enough, Content ID automatically flagged it. I didn't get a strike, but now WWE is taking money from that video that they're not entitled to. And there's an option to challenge it, and I could win because it is fair use, but I don't want to hassle with that when I'm not even monetizing these videos right now because I have no audience yet. But
you know what's hilarious?
Yeah.
Monday on Raw, they were featuring YouTube people who do the simulcast and comment.
I saw that. It's because the Content ID is a bunch of bullshit. And I actually did. I'll tell you all the story. I had a stream. I think it was WrestleMania. I forget what year it was. But we had some pretty damn good traffic on it. And there was there's like 130 people watching, which grand scheme of YouTube, it's not much, but it's still pretty cool. We had over 100 people watching us. And out of nowhere, I went off the air live. And WWE, all they did was they did a scan. Their intellectual property people did a scan of YouTube after WrestleMania and just did a keyword search essentially and just blanket took everything down. And I was pissed. And I reached out. I'm sure it's not the same person, but I reached out to, what was her name? It was their head lawyer. It was, I think her name was Lauren Deans Midland. She was their head of, like, one of their head attorneys over there. And she referred me to the person that oversees IP. And I forget the dude's name, but I sent a very pissed off email. And within a day, the strike was removed from my YouTube channel. And the channel was partnered with a multi-channel network at the time who was completely shitty and worthless. They were taking cuts of my AdSense revenue, but they were absolutely shit. I had to deal with WWE myself, but the damage was already done. The stream lost all of its momentum, which that's really the purpose of these bullshit Content ID claims. Half of them, I'm sure you know.
They did that to me too.
What?
They did that to me on eBay.
And what it does is, my theory is they know it's not going to stand up. They just do it because, yeah, it'll get overturned. But in the meantime, all the momentum is dead as a result of that. And this Content ID bullshit I can see now it's gotten no better than it was 6-7 years ago when I was doing this shit last. And it pisses me off. And I am going to continue doing what I'm doing. And you want to do your little Content ID bullshit on me, that's fine. But if I get any copyright strikes, I'm going to vigorously fight them. And regardless of my audience size, it's bullshit.
When I get up there, I'm going to show you the email that they sent me after I tore them a new asshole, and they apologized, and I got my eBay strikes removed, and I was able to relist everything, but I lost all the watchers and viewers and everything.
You
but
start over.
when I sent them a copy of the receipt of me buying it directly from WWE
Were
shop.
they trying to say it was
his
counterfeit?
whole-
That you were hawking counterfeit merchandise? What was it?
Yeah,
Was
and
it
I
a-
spent 800.
Was it the Sin Cara
I
dick
spent
shirt?
No, that's legit, and they've never had a problem with that. I spent $800 on WWE clearance stuff, from the chalkline jackets to shirts, and they were trying to say it was counterfeit. And I scanned a copy of my $800 receipt and sent it to them, and I said, "Tell me what's counterfeit. You need to remove the strikes within 48 hours, or my lawyer will be contacting you." And they emailed me back, so apologetic. "Oh, we're so sorry. We didn't realize, and go ahead and relist it. You're fine. We won't be coming after you again."
They do this shit because they know there's going to be no recourse on them. And fuck YouTube. Fuck YouTube for allowing this shit. This shoot now, ask questions later. They don't care about all the creators they're boning. And unless you're in the top 1% of creators on this platform, there's nobody you can reach out to for support in an emergency unless your name is Mr. Beast. I don't want to say PewDiePie. PewDiePie's been kind of on the outs with them for a while. But unless your name is Mr. Beast or Casey Neistat or what?
PewDiePie is semi-retired now,
No, he's
too.
not.
He's got a kid.
He's got a kid, but he's still on there regularly. He just doesn't have
Not
it.
as much as he was.
He's just a regular YouTube partner now. They're not doing any business with him after all the what was it? Did he do some anti-Semitic stuff a few years back?
I think they're reading way too much into it. I think he was just trying to be funny.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
of
think
course.
he's anti-Semitic.
No, I don't think so either. And I'm not going to get into it. But my point is that.
But the thing is with Mr. Beast is, I don't even think Mr. Beast has that kind of power now because of all the partnerships with like Amazon and stuff.
Mr. Beast is power. Oh, YouTube does not want to lose Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is one of those guys that could
he's in some deep trouble right now too, apparently.
No,
so.
allegedly, of course. But up until this point, like just remove the current stuff. I mean, he could get a meeting with the CEO of YouTube if he wanted to. And I'm sure he has, because they're in the top
Allegedly.
they're in the top 1%. But the mid-tier people, so let's say up to 1 million subscribers, they get fuck all of nothing. Oh, sorry, we gave you a copyright strike, or sorry, we content ID'd you. Oh, by the way, that couple of grand that you could have made, it's gone. Better luck next time. Meanwhile, it's complete fair use. And this is why so particularly wrestling content creators don't even bother showing clips of WWE footage, even though it's completely fair use. They don't try because it's not worth the bullshit and the risk of having your revenue
at that point, because Tony Khan goes after everybody too.
Yeah, no, it was, and that's why I'm putting most of the blame on YouTube and a smaller amount of blame on WWE and AEW. No, I know that what's her name, the girl referee has a fake name that she uses to go and do. She scans the internet and just gives copyright strikes. I know all about that, and so yeah, they're to blame I would say AEW probably has more to blame than even WWE does, because WWE relies mostly on algorithms. I don't think they have many bodies physically looking at this shit, but AEW does, and they're literally I would not put it past her if she were just, even though she knows it's just a commentary, doesn't like what they have to say and striking it down. But that's just a theory and an opinion. It may not be true. So I'm not trying to cast any aspersions on anyone. But
Ooh, an SAT word from Noah tonight.
But YouTube is a very odd place. It's a very odd place these days. And I'll be honest, I don't know how, if ever, this channel is going to take off. I look at all the analytics, And the top 50, I don't really look at international stuff, international charts, because they get really odd with like the T series, the music in India and all that BS. I just look at the United States analytics. And if you look at the top 50 creators consistently in the United States of America, it's all cartoons for children. It's all like family YouTube channels where it's predominantly small kids that are featured. So I'll name off some of these channels here. Number 1, Toys and Colors, kids channel. Number 2, Mr. Beast. What a surprise. Number 3, Learn and Play, which is another cartoon channel. Then there's another one called Zach D Films. And that's all YouTube shorts. That's another thing. There's nobody does long form videos anymore. It's all shorts. And the wild part about it is the revenue on shorts is next to nothing. So you have to really have an audience to make any money off YouTube shorts. Learn crafts with kids. What else? The Stokes twins. I'll let you use your imagination on that one. Oh, Beyonce, she was number 14 on the charts. WWE was sitting at number 18 with 152 million views in 1 week, which is wild. Let's compare that to Mr. Beast. How many views did he do? He did 477 million views in 1 week.
Yeah, it's crazy. Whenever he releases a new video, within an hour, he already has like 1 million views.
I'm telling you guys, the fix is in. And it's set up to only promote certain types of creators. And even though there could be new and upcoming talent that people want to see, nobody knows about it. Tags don't mean anything on YouTube anymore. Tags don't do shit. You can put a few hashtags which make a difference, but it's all AI now. All the AI and the content ID bullshit, it makes me wonder why I even want to do this. So the best thing I can do is not even really think about the fact that right now we're streaming. We got 7 people watching right now live.
Nice.
7 people. And I appreciate that. I appreciate all 7 of you. Thank you for tuning in, sticking with us. And you're why I continue to do this. But the YouTube...
6 of them are here to see me, so...
The YouTube platform is not, I'm not feeling the love, and it's not promising. I do have an idea that is going, and I think I told you the idea, so please don't say anything, because it's really something that nobody's ever done before. And I'm going to start doing it separately from this channel, and I may link the two together at some point, but I have a feeling that this idea could do something. Either do something big or get me banned. There's not going to be an in-between on this, I promise you. And that's to come. That is in the late planning stages, so big things to come. But anyway, that's my rant. We have been on the air for nearly 2 hours, and I think you probably want to go to bed because it's 1:30 in the morning.
I just drank 2 energy drinks. I'm good.
Well, I'm about to go to In-N-Out Burger because I am famished.
What are you bringing me?
It'll be spoiled by the time it gets to you. And In-N-Out Burger, as you know, you have to literally eat In-N-Out Burger the second they hand it to you, because within 20 minutes, when it gets cold, the bread gets really hard and it's gross. You have to eat In-N-Out fresh.
That's why whenever I get fries there, I have to get them well done, or they get all soggy and weird.
Yeah. But when you get here, are we going to go to In-N-Out Burger? Please make your first.
Hell yeah.
Please make your first trip to In-N-Out Burger be with me. Mary hates In-N-Out Burger, but Shane will go with us.
Well, you're picking me up from the airport, so...
Is that what's going to be the first meal when I pick you up from the airport?
In-N-Out.
You want to be In-N-Out?
I haven't had In-N-Out in years. I want In-N-Out.
You're kind of craving it. I get it. I get it. Well, we got lots of In-N-Out. We will, between the airport and the house, we're going to probably pass by 5 In-N-Outs. So we will make it happen.
Nice.
We will make it happen. Anyway, let me play the shut the fuck up music. Boom. Hey, big shout out to the People's co-host, Eric Barnes. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't done so already, please check out facebook.com/realnoahmania. That is how you find me on social media. I am active on there, and to a lesser degree on X, because I think Elon Musk is a piece of shit. I hate him. I used to want to buy a Tesla Cybertruck. I no longer want to.
Why are you driving a Tesla then if you hate him?
When did I ever tell you I was driving a Tesla? I have the anti-Tesla. I have a Shelby GT500. That's the opposite of a Tesla. Anyway, I've successfully shut down Mike. There you go.
Have you?
X.com/realnoahmania. Follow me on there. We will be on the air again this coming Tuesday. There will be an episode of The Experience that drops. What time is it going to drop? It's going to drop like a turd. Let me get the time here. I was so unprepared for this outro. It's going to be Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. And then next Friday, The Experience will again be live 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Pacific. Hopefully you'll be in California by then. You can be in person.
You may have to pick me up from the airport when you're supposed to be going live.
We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll go live from the airport. It'll be the airport show. And hopefully I don't get the shit kicked out of me by the TSA. Anyway. I got to get out of here. Let me see what I got to do to get out of here. To end this mess. To end this charade. This charade, if you will. All right. For the People's co-host, Eric Barnes. For the Extreme Icon, Mike Nagel.
Yo.
This has been The Experience. I'm out. Later, guys.